And in this week's parasha, there were a number of very interesting and practical and relevant mitzvot that we should all be so happy that we observe and or can observe even further and motivate others. And one of them is very practical to men only, actually, which is lot la'akif pe'at harosh and shelo la'ashchit pe'at hazakan. So the commandment is, it's a very sensitive one, of hakafat harosh and pe'at hazakan, which means lo la'akif pe'at harosh is that you have the rosh, the head, and you have hair in the area of the head, and we are not allowed to lashvot da'av le'achorav. A person is not allowed to take the front part of this area. Pe'ah means the edge part of the hair over here, and to shave all this off to make it straight in the line with the back of the ear. So when you go to the barber and they want to make it nice, so they can't cut over here, meaning make that zero, right? From here downwards until that area right here. That's the pe'ah of the rosh, right? Now what's the reason of doing that? The reason of doing that says Sefer HaMitzvot that it used to be that Chukot HaGoyim, the monasteries and the priests of Avodah Zarah used to get such fashioned haircuts, and so it was similar to them, and we are not allowed to do that because it's not to imitate or to go in the ways of Avodah Zarah. And a person that, if you can imagine, walks around, even that's not a Avodah Zarah person, doesn't serve idols, but they walk around in such a fashion, there's a resemblance of that, it's iconic of that, and it shouldn't be seen. But according to other commentators, it's not only because of that, it's also because it's a chok. It's a chok, meaning it's one of the mitzvot that is a constitute, it's above something that we can relate to and understand in our limited intellect. That's what Hashem wants. So not to get that. Now practically, I've never seen anyone, maybe years back, that they would take and have a haircut, that they cut it right here. It's very unusual. But what you do see is pe'at hazakan, which is the second mitzvah that we'll talk about, which is not to lashchit pe'at hazakan, not to kind of destroy the hairs, the hairs of the zakan. And over here, that's not shaving with a razor, not shaving with a razor, a knife. And it starts, and it's 5 areas of the face. 1, 2, against each other. These 2 bones here, you see these 2 bones right here, pretty much where the jaw connects to, I guess, the higher area of the skull. So right over here, these 2 bones are very sensitive. These 2 bones right over here, corresponding to each other, and where they meet over here in the chin. So a person that shaves, we are not allowed to shave with a razor our whole face, and certainly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're not allowed to shave with a razor. Now we are allowed to remove our hair with anything else but a razor, anything that does not uproot the hair or takes the hair completely out, all the way that, so we're allowed to, for example, most halachic authorities say you're allowed to take a shaver and use the shaver. You're allowed to use a shaver. Why? What's the difference between an Norelco shaver and a razor? That the Norelco shaver, it cuts the hair, but it doesn't cut it. It doesn't get to the deepest part of the hair, the root. Even though a razor also doesn't uproot the hair. Some people believe that when you take a razor, it uproots the hair from its place. It doesn't, because the root of the hair is under the skin. But the idea is, what I saw, is that the razor gets so close to the skin, and that's the violation of the Torah. Now, every single hair that is taken off and removed in such a way is malkut. Meaning, it's very sensitive. It's a lav. Every hair is another violation. Everyone, we don't even know how many hairs we have. So for everyone, it's not worth it. Better do something that tastes good, or it's fun, or something that's not even worth it. So every single one of them is really such a sensitive area. Deoraita, for every single one of the hairs. Like, wow, Hashem is really going and out of the norm here, I guess, with such expressive ways of saying how sensitive it is. So how do we shave? I have to get a Norelco. The Norelco also shaves, but you all know the Norelco, there's like the blades, right? There's a circle. Under the circle, there's a blade. What does that metal circle do? It kind of has a little pause, or a little bit, a minute little distraction or prevention from the knife to get super close to that area of the skin. And so these are one of the things that we say this every day. Hashem gives us mitzvot times. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what's the big deal? I'll get on a Roku. So let's go $30. I'll get on a Roku. What's the big deal? What, I have to plug it in every time? Okay, what's the big deal? The big deal is that Hashem wants to give you more mitzvot. He wants to give you more opportunities. And one of the first things when we see, not only myself, you all over, one of the first things that people do when they want to get closer and please Hashem even more, and understand that there's something on their skin that they could do for Hashem, like tefillin on our body, brit milah on our body. This is on the skin. For men, one of the first things I see people doing is saying, listen, this is not a big deal. Let me get rid of this razor. Who needs it anyways? They get all these cuts in the morning sometimes, and let me get an Orelco, and that's what they do. Normally rabbis are scared to talk about this because they're like, hey, they're not going to understand what this means and this and that. But we're allowed to have areas in life and in Halakha and in Judaism that we still don't understand, but we understand that it says it, and so that we follow it. And that was in last week's Parashat Kedoshim. One of the many ways that we can become kadosh, we can become holy, and that's the job of Am Yisrael, to not only be nice and very good and everything, but also to elevate and become holy through one of these practical everyday halachot. Amen.